Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Siva, Don here again, and today we finally got our hands on the Grit 2.0 here. We've heard about this paddle way back when, but we just never got our hands on it yet because at that time they haven't got approved. So finally, they got the USA Pickle approved. They're on the market now, so we got our hands on it. Again, thank you, Grit, for sending us the paddle. So let's dive right into it.
Yeah, so first things first, let's go into specifications, right? I think it's about your standard elongated 16.5, 7.5, and about 7.8 to 8.1 ounces in weight. I think twist weight is about 6.1 and swing weight is about 116, 117.
Okay,
You know?
you're pretty standard elongated.
Yeah. And then your handle length is about 5.6 ounces, and a grip circumference about 4.2.
Yeah, I mean, Grit's pretty
So,
standard. Felt good in the hands.
yeah,
I love the aesthetics. I'm a big fan of all blacked out paddles. So
yeah, but they do have two other colors too. They have their launch version, which is green. That looks pretty good too. And then they also have their new one coming up called ivory. Ivory, like
so white.
white
Oh, I see.
color. So that's gonna come, I think, end of April.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think this paddle is priced at around $170 pre-order because they're taking pre-orders now. And after that, they may increase the price to $175. So if you guys use our code PBRX, you can get 10% off. And that brings down the paddle price to $153, which is pretty comparable, or actually pretty economical for a full foam paddle, right?
I mean, today's day market is competitive price point there for sure.
Yeah, it's pretty competitive price range. And then we do make some commissions, so that would really help our channel to make, the content like this, right? I mean, so the first time I heard about this paddle was, remember Jacob Conway, a good singles player?
Yeah, the big singles guy.
Yeah, he was using this paddle. And, at that point, I asked him and he said, like, there's a great company and he's sponsored by them. So, yeah.
Hit him.
I reached out to the owner and immediately he responded, said like, sure, we'll send you the paddle. But we've been testing for it. The reason we didn't do a review like you mentioned was because we were waiting for the USA Pickleball approval.
Yeah.
And it's finally got approved, I think, last week. So now going into the core, I think they call it a flex foam core or a dual core. So it's your standard EPP. Medium density EPP is what they say. I'm not a paddle nerd, so I don't know all the details, but I think it's just EPP, let's call that. And then the unique feature of this paddle, as you could say from the name Grit, right? Grit 2.0. So is the grit. So they call it DuraGrit, so apparently whenever they put the grit or all this is like under high temperature, so it kind of supposed to last long.
Oh, I see.
I think it's just like, it's been almost 2-3 weeks since we started using it, and I could say the grit is still there. It's pretty good.
Definitely played a lot of games with bangers. I put this paddle through the ringer so far, and you can't tell the difference on either side of the face. It's still gritty as the day it came out of the box.
Yeah, so coming up with all these weird names, man. 11624 is what?
Hex Grit. Yeah.
And then there is this Perma Grit by Spartus.
Yeah. Then you got Diamond Grit.
Diamond Grit by the 60.
Yeah.
And now they call this Dura Grit,
Right.
Pretty much, for a layman or like average Joes like us, it's going to last long. Yeah, is what I say. All right. Now going into play testing, I'm just going to go one by one. I think power, it's not one of the most powerful paddle. The power I would say is mid-tier. But you can get decent power for your put weights. It's just because it's foam, right? But it's not the most powerful paddle. Like when you compare it to Selker Boomstick and F1, the top tier,
not quite the S tier.
It's probably in the medium range.
But I have to say though, I played with it stock, and then when you added the weight back on it, so you had some weight at the throat on the side here, and definitely a change in the paddle for sure.
Yeah,
it's coming out the paddle a lot faster, a lot harder.
Yeah, I think you need to customize the paddle. Obviously, stock, it didn't have as much of power as what we were expecting. But when I put like 3 grams on the side and then 3 grams at the neck, I think the paddle opened up,
Right, for sure.
And one thing we are realizing nowadays is, I always thought that foam paddles, you don't need break-in. But looks like, some of the foam paddles, mainly the MPP ones like Aero Cyclone, Las Inferno, they need break-in period, like a week or two, for the foam to soften up and all. And I'm thinking maybe EPP also needs some break-in period, stand out. I mean, it's way different now than when we got the paddle. So maybe that was the reason why, but So definitely the power is not your top tier, but it's pretty good. 7, 8 out of 10.
Yeah. We'll definitely have to get more into that because I haven't played it now without the weights compared to when I first played it stock. So yeah, I mean, that'd be interesting. I'll definitely, try to follow up on that.
Same thing with pop. It's not your poppiest paddle like your Havik 2 or Boomstick. I would say it's mid-tier, but decent pop.
Yeah. Plenty of put away paddle.
Plenty. All the foam paddles nowadays are so good, man.
Yeah.
When it comes to sweet spot, I think like we were playing in the beginning, right? The stock, I felt like, like the complaint was the dead spots, mainly on the sides, not so much on the top. Like right where the decals are, I felt like when you hit a ball there, when there's a miss hit, it's pretty much dead.
Yeah.
So, but once I put the weights, that just opened up, the sweet spot is huge and it's pretty good after.
Made it a lot easier. I took a lot more balls out of the air and I felt real comfortable after that.
Yeah. So I think this paddle definitely needs some weight, and then the unique feature or the distinguishing feature or the important feature of this paddle is the grit. I mean, there's a ton of grit. The spin is like, you can put a ton of spin on the ball, right? Yeah, top spin,
Definitely that double hand, backhand dink. Oh, it feels good.
It's so good with this paddle. So I think that's where it shines. I would give it like 9 by 10,
Yeah, on the spin, especially with a lifetime ball.
Oh yeah.
The lifetime bar, this thing loves the lifetime bar.
Yep. Not so much with Franklin, but I feel like that's kind of most of the foam paddles nowadays. I feel like they play.
They're all
so
good
good
towards
with-
that lifetime bar.
Yeah.
It's like night and day playing with those different balls depending on your paddle.
Is it because we are getting used to lifetime ball more now, or is it because the foam paddles are tested for them? So it's kind of a debate.
Yeah.
But definitely spin is where this paddle shines. I would give it 9. I haven't played with 11624 Vapor or Hurache Part 2, so I can't compare it. But I would say this is pretty comparable to the ones we played with the Spartus.
Yes, Spartus. Similar grit to the local.
Yeah.
But only time will tell. My problem with the local is usually about 3 months to play. 2 to 3 definitely enough.
Yeah, the grid, goes
so far 2 weeks, still going strong. Both sides, not an issue right now. So you'll see. Only time will tell.
So control, I think, since it's not your most poppy paddle, I mean, you are pretty much able to control. Like I said, once we added the weight, this paddle loves weight so much. Once I added that weight, man, it became a reset machine. You can pretty much drop, drive, drop from anywhere. You can reset the balls. I mean, back to kitchen, no problem. So overall, I think, the sweet spot control got a lot better with the weights. Yeah, okay. All right. Final impression, So who's this paddle for, right? I feel like this paddle, obviously not for beginners, right? Because you need some learning curve. There need to be some weight adjustments to be done. But for anybody who is, higher intermediate and definitely advanced players, this is really, really good paddle. Now, I think, in terms of the price, because it's coming at $153, so it's at least $20-30 cheaper than your, like Loco, the main competition, like Loco.
Yeah.
What else is there? Like, I mean, it's comparable to Havik 2 in the price, Mavericks, Havik 2.
Definitely, I would say the main competitor for this paddle is the Loco.
Yeah.
But again, you maybe the Loco's got a little bit more power than the Grit 2.0.
Yeah.
But if you tell me the Grit 2.0 has their DuraGrit and it'll last longer, I'm gonna probably lean towards Grit a little bit more. Just bangs for the bucks.
I mean, it's a good paddle. I think the market is so like crowded now in this price range, and in terms of, I don't know, man. At this point, you just have to probably play with the paddle and kind of pick what you like. Is it the grit what you're looking at? Is it the sweet spot? What is your no compromise thing, right? For me, it's the sweet spot and control.
Yeah.
For some people, it may be power and spin. So those are the factors which probably determine what is the best paddle. But anyway, for the price, I think it's a decent paddle. You would not be disappointed. Give it a try.
That's why I like this paddle a lot. It's bang for a buck. It'll last.
Definitely bang for the buck. Yeah. All right. That's it, guys. This is Siva and Don again. Thank you, Grit, for sending this paddle. If you guys are interested in buying this paddle, please do use our code PBRX. So it'll help our channel.
Yeah. And make sure to leave a comment down below if you played with it. See, we'll compare, our reviews together. We'd definitely like to hear what you think of the paddle.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, guys.
All right.